Well, good morning. It's Sunday once again. Look at this deck post bearing. It's done. We noticed this yesterday, or not yesterday, last week, when we did our cam and everything here. But now they have some parts for it. Instead of just doing this one, we're going to do both sides. And the first thing we need to do is get our scissor cable and our deck cable off, and then we'll set it down at 270 on some support blocks. And we've got a piece of all thread here that we're going to clamp out our spring guide tube with to eliminate any potential issues of spring rebound when we do this. So first we need to hop down. We're going to hop down. We're going to set a pin off spot or out of range, and then we have this guy. We're going to put that pulley disc in one of the pair of scissors and allow it to close on that. It's going to slack our cable out very, very nicely. So let's hop down here real quick. It doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be off spot. Like that. So then we're going to turn our machine on and we're going to cycle it until we encounter that off spot pin. Oh, rear switch is not on. There we go. I'm going to jog it from the breaker. Okay. Our scissors have closed. Now, let's bring that one in. It's going to be hard to get on camera because I will need two hands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the scissor cable and I'm going to open up the scissors and stuff this in there between the two scissor arms and the deck roller, and then let it go. And our cable will be sufficiently slacked out. Another thing that you can do is take the spring off of your spring cam follower, and that will take up a lot of tension as well. I'm not going to do it that way, but it is another good way to do it. So we've got our clutch disc installed in there, and look at our cable. She'll come off real easy now. Let's go ahead and do that. Again, I'm going to need two hands, so I'm going to set you down for just a sec. Scissor cable is officially removed. The next step is going to be the moving deck cable. So we're going to have to run it through a cycle. We're going to jog it again. But we're going to let it sweep. We're going to block pin feed. It's going to stop at 180. And then from there, we're going to hit the 180 release lever on the side of the gearbox. And just bring it out until the rake comes forward. And our deck is not all the way down, because we need to put some supports under there. I didn't do it on camera, I know. I'm trying to go a little quick here. We have some other things that we want to do, so we can't spend all day dilly-dallying around on this. But our rake is forward, our deck is coming down to set new pins, but we have to go find some support material. I was told that, hey, I'll leave some 2x4s or some 4x4s behind the machine for you. Well, yeah, that did not happen today. I found them. They were hiding on that table, just out of sight. I got our 2x4s placed, and then I looked up, and I noticed the control cable on the moving deck is off. So this cable's already ready to be removed. I'm just going to jog it down to 270 degrees. Right about there. Yeah, that looks good. And now we need our threaded rod. We're going to insert our threaded rod through, there's one ear hole there, one ear hole there. We need to relieve the spring tension. It's working as a counterbalance for the weight of the moving deck, as well as pushing the rake board forward. If we take our bearing caps off both sides and we don't secure that spring tube, your deck shaft is going to come up and hit you in the face when you get your last screw out. I know, because I've done it before. It missed me But yeah, it could have been disastrous. We've got our threaded rod inserted. We need to bring it into the top ear. Again, this is going to take 2 hands, and I only have 1 hand available right now because I'm holding you guys with the other. But what we're going to do, look at my foot down here, we're going to push our rake in, right, and then thread our nut on. So she is secure now. This is not going anywhere. What I'd like to do in a perfect world, I would have 2 deck posts made up and ready to go. And you just take those 2 bolts out, those 2 bolts out, those 2 bolts out, and those 2 bolts out, and bring in new deck posts. This is not my bowling center. This place does not have 2 made up, ready to go, fully rebuilt deck posts. So we're going to do this kind of the hard way. We're going to start on the easy side. We're going to take the cap off. We're going to take our snap ring off. We're going to drive the bearing out, right? We're going to drive a new bearing in, put our cap back on, put our bolts back in. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. However, this other side has some obstacles, some pulleys and bearings that we may need to punch off with a hammer and a punch or a chisel before we can get to the goodies here, the bearing underneath this cap. Let's see if we can do this without me getting my big fat head in the way. Again, easier said than done. I don't know what size this is, but let's loosen this up. Just, what is this? 30 seconds for your main post bolts. Okay. And then we've got 3/16 for your clamping bolt. How many other wonderful surprises will we find along the way? I don't know. We won't know until we get there. Did you see it shift a little bit when I loosened the clamping bolt? Start that one, and then we're gonna fully remove the lower one. Come out, please. I saw a picture of somebody last week. They had both of these bolts broke on them. I thought that was really strange. I've never encountered that in real life. I don't know, maybe they were running loose. I don't know, I wasn't there. I just saw the aftermath of everything going brr, kind of sideways. Ew. Yeah, she's done. Gross. Well, I better keep my opinions to myself. You can't see. Well, shoot, even I can't see. There's no snap ring here. Friction was holding this bearing on. This bearing should be seated over a little further with a snap ring. We don't have that. Crazy. Well, it's not the first time, right? It won't be the last. Let's see if we can chisel our bearing off ever so delicately. There we go. It's moving. Let's see if I can catch it too. Outer ring or dust seal sitting on the flat gutter. It's okay. We can retrieve that momentarily. I don't know if we have a snap ring for this. I bought an assortment of snap rings that I carry in my vehicle. Let me go check. Let me bring that assorted box of snap rings in and see if we can find something that's going to fit. So we have acquired some snap rings get the bearing on first. I have, pardon my reach here. We need a, where'd it go? Doing it by feel. There it is. 1-inch socket. Might need it, might not. Looks like she's kind of walking in pretty easily. But we need to do some right-handed tapping. Kind of hard with our accelerator footing here. Plus we're kind of wobbly, right? We're getting there. I'm not sure why it's becoming so difficult, other than it's incredibly dirty. Might have something to do with it, huh? Need to go a little more. Almost there. Come on, buddy, just a little more. There we go. We're seated. We have our groove exposed for our snap rings. That one was a pain in the butt. Probably, pardon my age, probably because it hadn't had a snap ring on it for a couple decades. A lot of crust building up around that post. Let's see what we've got that might be a good fit. That's a little bit small. This one's... that one would probably work. Yeah, there you go. Amazing. Amazing. It may not be perfect, but it is a lot more perfect than not having a snap ring there. At least in my opinion. I didn't hear it click. There it clicked. There we go. Try and spin it around just to make sure. That grip's pretty tight, but it's on there. It's good to go. Bring our cap back in. Yeah, knock some of the schmutz out of it. It's important that that screw remains face up. Kind of ballpark it in there. Sort of kind of close. Doesn't have to be super perfect at this point. Now, let's bring our right there. Got one started. Get the... oh, I dropped it. Hold on. I think I got long gangly arms. Are we lined up? Yeah, feels like it. There we go. So let's bring both of them in. Bottom one's bottomed out by hand plate. What's the torque spec on this? I don't know. If you break it, it's too tight. I'm not going to worry about side to side. Sorry. I think I accidentally gave you guys the bird again. So this side's pretty much done. We'll need to hop over to the other side. It's going to be a little more complicated. We've got ourselves set back up on the, we're on the 7 side here, or slightly more complicated side. I'm gonna have to start by removing this long screw here. Well, it's not as long as the one down there. Yeah. The good news is we're here before opening, and we don't have anybody else bowling. If we did, that lane would be on hold as well as the one on the other side. So we need to take this off and try to be careful not to lose any of the roller bearings in there. That came off pretty easy. They don't always do that. Will the inner bearing race come off easily? Or will we need to hit it with a hammer? Let's see if we can hit it with a hammer. And maybe it'll budge pretty easy. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Yeah, she's moving. Retrieve that. Retrieve our spacer. This is going perfectly to plan so far. We will need to remove our snap ring, unclamp our clamping bolt, and remove our bearing cap. That's too big. Change out. Okay. Clamping bolt is loose-ish. Should allow for the bearing to slide if needed. Take our retaining bolts out. A little bit loose there. We're going to go all the way out here. Completely removing the bottom one right now. Okay. Set that somewhere it won't roll away, and hopefully remember where we set it. Now I've got a little bit of tension here. This might shift a little bit. No, not too bad. Just a hair. That's good. Yeah, she's shot. She's toast. Gross. The taps might not be working. It's okay. We'll do it a different way. Wow, that snap rings. Pin's kind of trashed, but that's okay. May not be perfect, but we'll leave it better than when we found it, right? Let's see if we can loosen this clamp bolt up just a little more. May not matter. A little wedge. Can we open her up just a tiny bit? Sorta. Alright, well then we will take our bearing and our cap off in one piece. Oh, you know what? Let's go backwards. huge ridge here because of that snap ring running loose. So we may want to take a file and file our ridge down. Essentially, the shaft is flared out behind the bearing, and we're not going to get the bearing out easily because of that ridge. So let me go grab a file, put you guys on pause. I'm just going to file down a little bit on that ridge. Yeah. And then it should come out pretty easy. We got our ridge filed down. And yeah, the shaft is kind of, it's not good. It's very not good. The unfortunate thing is, you know, like I said earlier, they don't have a deck post made up and ready to go. And this also ties into the fact that, you know, it would be better to swap the entire deck post out because you're going to find stuff like this. And yeah, what do you do now? We just put a bearing on there and just see how long it lasts, I guess. Well, let's see if our Harbor Freight snap ring assortment is going to work out for us. We don't know yet. Does it look like it would be? That might be a little too loosey-goosey. What else do we have? Something of this variety, perhaps? That's a little small. Do we have a Goldilocks snap ring here? I have one that's just right. Let me see. It's still small. Yeah, maybe. Let's try that one. I mean, it is Harbor Freight. Beggars can't be choosers. Let's go whichever one. That's a little loosey-goosey. Well, why don't we use that as a spacer? We can stuff another one in there. Double snap ring. Let's try it. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing, it'll be fine. That is the wrong size though. Oh, I dropped it. Again. No, let's go with that. I don't think we're going to have a Goldilocks snap right here. Yeah. It clicked in. And it's tight. Boy, that is some sketchy stuff, isn't it? It isn't crazy if it works. Now the fun part, we gotta get the old bearing out of here. So check this out, this bearing, it's seized up and it's spun out on the shaft. Crazy. Well, it's not that big of a surprise, huh? So we've got our bearing, our old bearing removed. Our new bearing cap back onto our. Just kind of walk it in there. I need a little persuaded. Close enough. Let's see if our screws are going to line up. Yep, top one started. Bottom one. don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it is like pouring down rain outside. Torrential downpour. Alright, our threads are started. Just bring it in. Just bottomed out. We're going to leave that one loose for now, right? Because we haven't set side to side yet. And come back in with our spacer, our inner sleeve, our pulley, another inner sleeve. Another pulley, and our screw. We're not fully seated yet. See, we got some wiggle room. We're going to do the final press down using that bolt. Ding, just like that. Schmitty said unlock on me. Hold on. Yeah. So that's good. Alright. Moving deck cable can come back in. Pardon my reach. Very curly cable. Would I like to replace it? Yes. Are we going to do that today? No. Not gonna do that today. Crazy. Drop on the bottom side. Yeah, we're doing this all in one take. That's fine. This cable's very slacked out. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, shit. Hold on, let me bring you over. We got a 2-for-1 special. We're hung up on the spotting finger. That's why our deck didn't shift all the way back. I'm not sure if I want to correct this right now or just kind of call it good. We can just call it good for now. So let's go ahead. We'll get her plugged back in. Bring her up to 0. Clear out our blocks. Oh, spring guide tube. Hold on. I knew I forgot something. That's okay. We need to take that out first. So I turned the lights off and kind of looked back a little bit. Look at that. Deck shaft bolt's backing out. So let's get that tightened back in here while we're here. These don't typically back out unless your bearings are starting to go bad back there. But who knows? This is, you know, we don't know, but let's tighten it up so it doesn't walk out and end up going BAM! Well, I got her to thread in about 4 turns, maybe a 1/4 of an inch before the thread's bound up between the bolt and the bearing stud. But that's gonna have to be as good as we can make it for today. So we've got her back up to 0. We've got our deck supports removed. We've got a pin placed out of range. So we're gonna go through a first ball out of range cycle. range detected. And our moving deck has lifted up off of the standing out of range pin. So we'll shut her off, unplug her there, and get our scissor cable back on. So our scissor cable is back on. Our deck cable is still off. That's okay. Plug her back in. We'll finish our out of range cycle. I forgot to block pin feed. Oh, rookie mistake. That's okay. That's okay. Hold on. Oh, it's not even a Monday, man. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're in second ball cycle. We're gonna set a new rack of pins and stop at 270 degrees. Lock our pin feed. We did not stop at 180. Oh, because we had a full deck signal. We indexed past the 5. Right there. So we're at 270 degrees, setting a new rack. Our deck cable's on, our scissor cable's on. What we can do now, if we grab some light, we can put maybe a pin in the number 5 chute and gauge left to right and center our moving deck over our pin deck on the lane. Yeah, you probably aren't going to be able to see it, but we need to go that way just a little bit. Oh, we can't. We've reached the end of our limit here. Okay, well, what do you do now? I think you're done. Okay, well, I guess clamp them down, time to go home. Well, so we can't we can't shift that way anymore. If we were to, right, if we were really super concerned about this, the entire machine frame can be shifted over. We're not going to get into that today, or maybe ever at this place. But the big thing was deck post bearings at the caps were shot, and we have replaced them. Mission accomplished. The goal has been achieved there. We've got everything buttoned back up. Let's go back, turn it on, and we will cycle our machine just a couple of times and make sure everything looks good. We cycled it a couple of frames and everything's looking good. So we can confidently call this one completed. Well, one of the other things on the list today is replace a motor on lane 33. We're not going to cover that. We've done a couple motors. I'm not a huge fan of these Harbor Freight motors. They don't last very long. So let's end it there. We did something that we haven't done before on camera. The rest of it is going to be stuff that everybody's already seen. So, yep, I have more to do, but this is where the video is going to end. You know, do you ever wonder how one of those cams can become so destroyed? Let me tell you a little story. Paint you a little picture. Story time with Mike Bucker. Can you hear that? I'm sure there's no way that you can miss it, right? You can hear it on the other end of the building. The unmistakable sound of a locked up brake cam follower bearing.